Hi guys, I'm just going to take you through the steps you're going to need to create your 1-point perspective checkerboard tunnel. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you can see this, but I've just drawn really light hand-drawn guidelines creating a cross through the center of my page, the same way that you will have done when you created your 1-point perspective streetscape. So what I'm going to do now is create the little door that goes in the center, all right? And I'm just doing this by hand for now. You can come through and fix it up with a ruler later. So you can see I've just got this rectangle in the center of my page. I'm showing you landscape, but our actual artworks will be portrait, all right? But it's just so it can fit on the camera for now. So I've got my square. So now what I'll do is actually line the corners of my squares up with the corners of the page with a nice straight line, pressing a little bit harder out to the corner, all right? So try and make sure that your little door in the middle is nice and straight, because that will make this part much easier, all right? And it means most of your lines will be nice and straight, which is a good idea. So there we go. I've got my, at the moment it doesn't look like, you know, anything, but it is going to become a tunnel. So what we want to do, remember when you were drawing the seams for the footpath in your cityscape? You're going to do, and they got further apart the further we came forward. So we're going to do the same thing now with your tunnel line. So we're just going to come across, and each time we drag that ruler down, it's actually going to get a little bit further apart. Okay? Maybe we'll leave that last one nice and big like that. Can you see that? Now, this is where it can get a little bit tricky. So you want to keep your ruler nice and straight. So make sure that the edge of your ruler here is always parallel with the edge of your paper as a nice guide, all right? So I can see, I'm not sure if you can see that, but my first line here is meeting my diagonal guideline there. So I'm going to put my ruler there and draw straight up. Now I'm going to wriggle it out, keeping it nice and straight along the bottom to the next intersection point here and come up. I'm going to do the same again. Can you see the pattern here? Making sure that bottom is nice and straight. I go straight up. And one more, and there I go. So now I've got floor, wall. So now I want to turn this around and do the same thing going in this direction, okay? And making sure that my ruler is on the edge of my page. It's actually easier this way because the page is a bit shorter. So if I wriggle this around and go, right, it's intersecting here. I've made sure this is flat. I'm going to go over, wriggle along a bit further, where that line is meeting the diagonal line, go across, a bit further, go across, a bit further. All right. And did you notice that I turned my page to make it easier on myself? Turn one more time. So now what we want to make sure is that this line and this line, this line and this line are all meeting up nicely. And they should, if you've done it correctly, they should roughly meet up, okay? As close as we can is what we're looking for, okay? All the way down. Yep, that line and that line. All the way down. And, oh, my ruler's a little bit short. That way and that way. All the way down, okay? So now we've got this kind of spiderweb looking thing going on, all right? What we want to do now is create the checkerboard pattern. So the first thing we're going to do, see how I've still got my little cross in there? I want us to use our ruler to lightly draw a line straight through the center of that cross going one way, and do the same thing going the other. So now it's becoming a more complex spider web. All right. Now what we want to do is we want to create, oh, I did that a little bit high. What we want to create are some more lines going outwards like a fan. So they'll be radiating from the center, so that vanishing point in our artwork. I'm actually going to rub out the inside lines inside my door now, so that that does become more of a actual door. So you can use a ruler for this. So radiating, so like a fan. So find the middle point. Oh, sorry, I've gone off camera. Find the middle point between these two lines. So maybe there. See, I'm just lightly marking it on so I know where I want my lines to start. And just, you know, wriggle your ruler around until you're happy with the space between the lines there and the tunnel that's going to create. All right, there we go. Can you see that? So I'll put my ruler there, wriggle, wriggle, wriggle. That looks pretty good. I actually might move my ruler out of the way so that it's not obscuring your view. So if I start here and I go, well, the space between this line and this line is roughly here, halfway through there. So if I go about there, okay? So I've got my little middle point here. So my middle point between those lines is about there. All right, see how that's happening? So if you can keep your hand nice and steady, spin your page and just let those lines radiate outwards, you're going to find you end up with this visual illusion, this optical illusion happening. All right, so remember, we're going to start with a cross guide, create our door, create those 4 guidelines that create the walls, the floor and the roof of our tunnel. Okay, and then what we're doing is popping in those extra lines going one way and the other, and keeping in mind that you start, you know, one way, down, 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 turn it around, making sure you're finding that intersecting point, coming across, down, 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 down. And when it comes to colouring in, you know how checkerboard works. So you put one colour in here, skip a square, one colour in there, and you just make sure that they don't meet up, all right? And I think you'll see from the sample it looks better if you've got the same colour for your roof and floor and the same colour for your walls. And if you want to, you can draw a little door here, or you can actually draw maybe someone here peeping out the door. I don't mind. Make it as creative as you like. Good luck, guys.